The hallway was buzzing. Energy, only first day of school, may cause excitement and chaos. None of that mattered to 8-year-old Emma Parker came through her Brooklyn elementary front doors. Small fingers wrapped around her other hand holds her rucksack strap, adjusting the tiny device behind. Her hearing aid her lifeline, and her target kids laughed too, chatted around her, but Emma, it was mostly blurred, muffled tone she was used to. Though isolation didn't help any easier, her blue eyes flickered. Unfamiliar face to another, searching for safety and kindness, but finding only sideways glances and stifled whispers. Ashley Moore stood near, locker arms crossed by two girls who briefly laughed. Too loudly. Ashley was tall for her age, assured and in charge, focused on Emma's hearing aid. Quickly, her lips curving, an overly cruel grin. Fourth grader Emma tried to pass undetected to the cafeteria. Her grandmother brought her favorite, nice pink bento box rice lunch, bear-shaped balls, and a tiny note. "You're brave, Nana." Hadn't opened the lid when Ashley's hands crossed the table, knocking it to ground. Rice scattered across floor like fallen petals. Stunned, Emma stood frozen in silence, her humiliated tears, hands shaking as tears pooled. Exactly when the glass doors at the school's front opened and Max looked huge German shepherd with deep amber eyes and a presence turned off the room. Max didn't. He walked without barking or growling, slowly and deliberately, straight at Emma. Gasped. Max entered the cafeteria, his thick fur matted from morning dew. His massive frame, nearly overhead lights filling the doorway, caught the silver threads on his suppress his quiet strength, and something ancient in his eyes, intent and vigilant. Ashley instinctively backed up, her grin struggling for the first time. Her friends clutching her sleeves uncertainly. Neither did Max bark nor bite. He stopped in front without needing to. Emma's sideways posture, between her and others, his tail, his head slightly lowered. Unyielding, Emma blinks, disbelief, wiping tears with her back, her sleeve. Max, whispering, giant shepherd, looked around, as if to say, "I'm from the." Teacher rushed in breath and hallway, seeing which dog this is. Half panicked, she called out, ready for her walkie-talkie. Emma inhaled and stepped. Her voice said, "He's mine." Max is gentle but steady. My service dog wasn't entirely his. True, Max hadn't been declared. He was her, but yet to register. Protect her friend. Last gift from her mother Caroline before cancer. Taken Emma. Max never left her side since. Max kept the room quiet, calmly touched Emma's nose, hand ignoring lunch crumbs. The moment seemed strangely sacred. A girl, dog, and cafeteria. Many eyes suddenly seeing something different. Max was more than a pet, her protector, and today, for the first, Emma wasn't alone. The buzz, excitement in the school gym. Each wall had folding tables, colorful posters on top, solar system and bubbling volcano models, Brooklyn thread-hung mobiles. The elementary science fair arrived. Emma Parker met everything, her project proudly. Dogs feel what we do near the center. Think the display board was well organized. Hand-drawn charts and graphs. Max's heart rate and photos. Reacting to her feelings. Placing his head in her crying lap when she was worried. Tracked and recorded interaction. Then a project. It was her truth. Ashley monitored the snack table, narrowing her eyes. She hadn't spoken much to Emma since cafeteria. Emma felt heat from the stares of silent resentment when a group students stopped to admire her work and inquire about Max. Emma shyly smiled. She looked proud then. Emma went away to ask a teacher about her unknown presentation schedule. Divided one of her graphs. Another board had juice on it, dropping slowly onto Max's printed photo. Soda can overturn soaking paper beneath. Emma returned to find she froze at her broken table. No breath. Then her eyes, her hands trembling, painfully reached for the ruined photos. Shattered her chest silently. Emma bolted from the gym, hallway past lockers and out, into the cold air outside school. Side doors nearly 7 miles across town. Emma's Max left temporarily. Grandmother raised his head and ears. He twitched without hesitation, bolted for the front door. Was wrong and unstoppable. From her, the wind howled through the empty side courtyard as Emma curled up on the cold concrete steps, her back against the brick wall. knees pressed to chest, tears streaked her cheeks but kept quiet. Not even a sob she was used to. Silence her world was mostly lived. She didn't hear the rustling from the yards far in. She didn't hear claws hitting pavement, but she felt Emma looked up as Max did, ran around the corner bristling, tongue-laying eyes fixed on her. Pure instinct guided missile 7 miles. Somehow he had 4 fences and a busy road. He skid to a stop in front of, nosing her arm, then her face. Counting the tears, he lay down, pressing his warm side against her. Despite her trembling frame, "How did you?" Her voice broke. "How did?" Inside the gym, suddenly, a large German shepherd arrived. Screaming teachers. Students panicked and retreated. Max didn't care and continued. Quiet determination in the crowd. He ignored the chaos until he stood before Emma's ruined project display. He sat down calmly, but to protest suffering. Solidarity, Mrs. Carlson's science. Teacher approached cautiously. She asked Emma's dog, looking between Max and the shredded project board. Ashley stood frozen by the color, draining her face. Max didn't bark. He was still but said everything Emma was hurt by, and he came not for revenge, but to be. Shows that love can cross any hillcrest. Morning sky distance. Gray nature reserve canvas. Clouds and air streak with sunlight. Smell like damp leaves. Pine. Emma hesitated at the edge. Trail adjusting backpack and ankles. Aching from emotional strain. The week before she didn't want to. Field trips never interested her. Certainly not those involving long walks, bugs spraying, pretending it was fine, but Mrs. Carlson had encouraged her. Nature aids us. Breathe, she said. Emma nodded. Not confident. Max wasn't allowed this. School policy stated not a non-official service dog. Emma had protested, but eventually came solo. Ashley walked a few paces ahead, loudly talking, looking back. Emma liked daring glances over a shoulder. It hadn't stopped yet. AR rest stopped deep in the forest. Path the group ate. Emma found a peaceful rock under a tall tree. Ashley walked with her sandwich unwrapped. Only Emma could hear her low voice. "Should have brought your bodyguard." "Freak," Emma said. Nothing. She was fed up. Battles no one else heard. The group prepared to move again. A fight broke out abruptly. Unbalanced, Ashley became annoyed. "In my way again." Emma tried to retreat, but a route caught her foot before she could balance. Ashley shoved her too hard. Emma fell. A cruel ankle twist. She cried in pain. Through her leg. The group had started walking. Nobody noticed her collapse when time Emma debuted. Her eyes again saw the forest. Quiet. Her classmates' laughter faded into the trees, leaving her alone. The sun set behind the trees, casting long forest shadows. Floor. Emma lay still on a bed. She breathes palely when damp. Shallow. Her twisted ankle throbbed. Every heartbeat and pain spread like fire through her petite frame. Tried calling twice, but she ignored. Voice barely carried. No one came. Away from Hillcrest. Max stirred. He paced near the door. Emma stays home all morning, his ears uneasy. Jerky nose raised every few seconds, like catching something no human could. Since then he charged without warning. Once deep and sharp door barking. Emma's grandmother grabbed her coat. Max ran before she could stop him. Through the side gate into street, running like he knew it. Where to cross field traffic. 7 miles of winding gravel paths. Instinct and love by park time. Rangers received calls about lost items. Student Max had slipped through. Reserve nose edge to the ground, weaving through pine and bramble. Emma moved faster each time, fluctuating consciousness. When she felt a gentle push, hand, her eyes opened to see Max's familiar face above her eyes. "Wide and shiny, Max," she whispered. Ellier, cheek barely audible then. Sharp barking. 1, 2, 3 urgent. Calls calm, purposeful, like a sound signal flare. Within minutes a search team was notified. An anxious teacher and park rangers. Followed torch sounds. Someone moved through the brush. Shouted. Emma curled beside Max. She rested her hand in his fur. Safe because he smelt. Emma had antiseptic and warm sheets. Hospital room. Her ankle was treated. Wrapped, and the pain persisted. It was dulled by Max and medication, who lay curled under a bed, his tail gently tapping the mattress with every breath she took. Was quiet but peaceful. Wasn't lasting outside the West Wing. Brooklyn Community Hospital. Something Failed an old power unit near. Storage area. Overload sparks, wires, flames. Climbed plasterboard before fire. Alarm ever. Screaming within minutes, smoke poured. Through hallways, swallowing. Fluorescent lights and air pollution. Emma sat up panicking, coughing Max's. Ears rose instantly. He was on his way. Feet before the second alarm. Staff ran shouting directions. Evacuation reached the stairwell, but fusion doors closed pathways. Ashley was 2 floors away from chaos. Moore was freshly released from minor charges. Solo appendicitis surgery. Supply room drowsy from anesthesia. She woke to a faint burning smell. Plastic and heavy haze creeping. Beneath the door, she tried the handle. Her chest tightened. Max darted. Weaving between legs from Emma's room. Pushing against smoke, he paused. High hallway, nose searching until he stopped at the base of the locked door where Ashley lay. Locked inside, she pounded weakly. Please, Max. Her voice broke. Barked urgently and scratched. Base-pacing nurse turned corner. Someone's in there, she shouted. Janitor rushed with keys. Door flew open and thick smoke rolled from Ashley. Stumbled forward and froze. Max stood expectantly before her. Locked eyes, her lips parted. He stepped aside when you returned, gently urging her out. Emma and Ashley appeared shortly, alongside during the emergency. Tunnel under the hospital led by Max. Steady paw and quiet bravery that night. As flames died out and fear settled into reflection, a shift occurred. Ashley saw Dog and rescuer. Her first glimpse of Emma. Not differently, but as strong. The next morning, soft golden light through the hospital blinds, calm building. Again smoke cleared alarms. Emma sat silently in room 204. Beside Max, gently moving her fingers through his thick neck fur. Stay by her side when. Knock on the door. Emma looked up. Ashley in the doorway. Denim instead of hospital gown. Sweatshirt. She looked different too. From a night before, but daily. Her eyes held something new before. Hey, vulnerability and maybe courage. Ashley hesitated to let me in. Emma nodded slowly. Max took no action. Observed calmly. Ashley stepped forward and took the chair across from. I wanted to thank her, said, voice cracking slightly. For what? Max did for you. Emma looked down, unsure what to say. I was mean. Ashley continued. I didn't want it to admit, but I was mad that your Max project was popular. People feel something, I guess. Their jealous silence did not disappear. Honestly, Ashley reached out. She gently touches Max's paw. Want to assist with whatever you. Max is currently doing Dr. Henry. More. Ashley's dad appeared. Hallway searching for his daughter. Entered the room. His eyes fell on. Max changed in himself. Expression. He whispered. Approaching this. Doggy knelt slowly, squinting. Max looked at a small scar. German Shepherd front leg I treated. Puppy with that scar 8 years ago, he said. Faintly a broken leg. He was adopted by Caroline Parker. His throat tightened with emotion. Although small, Emma gasped at his eyes. Max raised his head, tail tapping. Once against floor recognition. A spark between man and dog. Silent but the undisputed Dr. Moore exhaled. Slowly he became special. Days later. The school board rescued the fire. Bravery had spread across the community. Letters spread like wildfire. Parents, teachers, neighbors, and finally decided. Unanimous. Max would be officially. Brooklyn welcomes therapy dog. Emma and Ashley were young. Opposites worked together. Starting a school program. Pause. Kids helping classmates find animal confidence and comfort. On program day 1, Emma looked at Max, her friend and hero. Whisper. Max, we succeeded. Wagged tail and rested head. Gently touching her hand in silence. Moment of laughter. New friendships and second chances. A dog's love saved more than girl. It revived a community. Together,